Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. You know who this is. It's the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And once again, I'm joined by a very special co-host, the OG, the original greaser, the one and only, the man with the three largest legs in professional wrestling, the one and only Robbie, motherfucking Zucco. Bro, welcome back on the show.
Thank you so much, Piers. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, baby. I'm doing really, really good. I'm excited to have Jake back on the podcast, bro. The first time I had Jake on, right, like this conversation was honestly, I felt like it was one of the best podcasts I ever had. Like, and I'm not just saying that because he's back on the show. I genuinely feel that. And you hit me up afterwards going, hey, I want to be on this podcast with Jake. And my brother, it's already done. You're like, oh man. And that's how we started sort of having you involved because we're always hanging out at shows together. So here we are, man. So, bro, look, without further ado, let's thank our sponsor real quick and then let's bring Dave out. That's sleefs.com. Go and check him out. That's SLEEFS. They've got all your athletic wear gear and wear covered. They've got compression pants, compression shorts, socks, headbands, boots, mouth guards, you name it. They've even got those dirty boxes with big-ass elephant trunks on the front of them. So go and check them out. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, leave a comment, give us a 5-star review, all that good shit. Tap the link and tap in, baby! But let's get into our conversation with the one and only Jake Crist. And we're live, gentlemen. Welcome back, both of you, to the podcast. Jake, good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you. How's it going? I was looking through your intro, man. You have so many different looks over the time you've been doing this podcast.
Bro, you know what's funny? Like, I found a photo of when, like, me and my wife, like, pretty much started dating, and we showed our kids, and they were just like, who's that? And I'm like, that's me. And they're like, that's daddy. And they're like, no, that's not you, daddy. Where's your beard? And like, nah, they just refused to believe it. They thought mummy was doing something dirty on the sly.
That's so funny.
Don't we?
I've done the same thing recently with my children, and they look at me like, wow, I can't believe you're so skinny.
Like, what's good? You're looking well. You're looking great. You know, you're training a lot, I hear.
I am training a lot, trying to, not have these this dad bod. I know the dad bod's in, but it's not going to get you a contract, that's for sure.
No,
well, not this guy at least.
That's it, man. But you know what? Like I saw you had an opportunity at AEW not too recently.
Yeah.
You turned up there, and like, how was it working over there? Like, you've been around, you've worked for like a lot of feds around the world. How did you find AEW going in there?
Oh man, it was a fantastic experience. I got offered to come in and do some extra work, and luckily got picked to do a dark elevation match, and hopefully, I think I killed it. I mean, it seems like the world liked it, so who knows what's to come. But I had a great time. The locker room was amazing. It was like no other that I've ever experienced before. It was really cool and chill, laid back, not like not like what you would, expect out of a television company. Because you always hear those rumors about like people in WWE always running around and the writers always changing things, and Vince likes this and Vince don't like that. You gotta take a shit. But whatever Vince is into those days. But it was not like that at all at AEW. It was a very chill, laid back environment. I felt, and it just made it welcoming. It made it more welcoming. I felt like, especially with me and the other people that were there to do extra work. It was a pretty cool time.
Well,
Was
that's
there
awesome.
did they
That's
like
awesome.
was there any feedback after the match? Like, was there any indication that they were interested in progressing further with you with something?
No, I don't know. It seemed like people were pretty happy with it, but you know how wrestling is. You never know, and it's you never
Yeah.
know.
No,
Yeah.
well, it's actually really good to see. When I see someone that's actually been part of my past, and I see I've crossed paths with them before, I look at it and I go, man, I'm actually extremely proud to see you doing what you're doing, and actually getting paid your dues, and actually getting yourself some great support from the wrestling community, and making sure that you're getting booked elsewhere. So I love the fact that you're doing stuff. It's fantastic. Seeing you and a lot of others, it really does make me proud. So yeah, I love what you're doing. So just keep it up. Keep up what you're doing, man. You're doing
I
fantastic.
I appreciate that, and especially because we shared a ring together and all that. Like I remember our days at HWA, Cincinnati, Ohio. Oh, 20. What was that? Like 15 years, 16. Like
Yeah,
I've been wrestling for 20. So like
exactly right.
I think it was around what, 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah. Well, see, Piers, these guys, or him and his brother, were equivalently to the actual velocities in this day and age. The way they move and whatnot, they were
Yeah.
more like the originals when it came to that high flying stuff and flips, and they were absolutely amazing. So damn easy to work with, and it was just
Kids, I was a kid. And
yeah.
had no fear.
Exactly, and that's what it was. You guys had all the tools, and you guys were fearless. And it's like, man, you guys just had weapons after weapon, and move after move. And it's like, wow, how do you keep up with that? And that was back then. So I can imagine what you're doing now. What you're doing now is actually like, you can see like just all this maturity and all this experience, and then you've got all these weapons that you can still do what you can. Especially at what age are we now, or what age are you now?
38, 38 years old.
Wow.
Yes, still
Wow.
Wow,
rocking and
that's
rolling.
Still youngin'.
Luckily, knock on wood, I haven't had any injuries. Haven't injured anybody. So that, I actually really take that pride into that. In a world of professional wrestling where people get injured all the time. I've been very, very lucky not to injure somebody and not to get seriously injured. I mean, I've been busted up here and there. I probably should have had shoulder surgery, but I mean, that was way, way back in the day. So who even remembers that? But I guess you know what? I guess my old body does remember those injuries that should have been repaired. But other than that, like losing a lot of weight was actually a tremendous I don't know, part of the success of longevity of being able to do this for 20 years.
amazing.
And like, would you put the weight loss down and like, because your fitness now, like if you follow like you on social media, you see like fitness and working out is a big part of your life. Like, do you find like now, like you're living in a sobriety style of lifestyle, that's helping you keep on track to like hit the gym regularly, be healthier, and what I mean, taking care of yourself long term?
Absolutely. I'm October will be 3 years sober for me drinking. So like once I cut out alcohol and all that, like the weight was just, it fell off me. I think we may have talked about this last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I just over 240 pounds when I
Wow. See,
decided to. What's that?
wow, I never knew that about you. I really never knew you actually hit the bottle.
Yeah,
Um,
I was drinking like a half a fifth of Jack a night. Like I'd go and buy a fucking fifth of Jack and just end up like damn near polishing it off and then going back, to get another one just to start the day over again. Like it was like it was one of those like as soon as 5 o'clock hit, it was like, oh, I can have a drink. It's 5 o'clock. So like I
wow.
would, and the shitty part is like in like the wrestling circles, especially once you like with Impact, like you had to go out and party. You had to like there was nothing else to do too. Like I'd fly off to whatever city that we were in, and like you'd go film your TV or whatever. Then all the boys would get together, and you'd either um, party, play video games, and just that, and it just to be in those circles, it just ended up taking control of my life because I ended up bringing it home, and that was my biggest problem. If I would have sort of kept that on the road, like maybe, but for unfortunately for me, I brought it home, so it was like, oh, I have to have a drink. It's what I do on the road, to do this there, and it just ended up spiraling out of control, and the what is it? What was it? June of 2020. That didn't help at all. So that just hit way rock bottom, and I had to literally crawl out of this huge dark cave that I was living in that I called life. So it was crazy. It was like 200. I think it was like 241 pounds, and I walked like I was hungover as hell. Um, it was after a Halloween party. My sister-in-law just had a Halloween party, and I remember telling my wife like, "Oh yeah, you can go ahead and drink. I won't drink tonight. I'll get us home." And then like she ended up having to carry me to the car, and then we got home, and she got me out, and I'm leaning on my wife, and I fall into my front yard, and I just start vomiting, and just like vomit. I was just like, just leave me, babe, just leave me. And like she she ends up getting up or ends up going to the house, and I wake up like, oh god. I look over in my front yard. There's like puke and shit. And it's like, God, I need to go inside. Go inside. Uh, End up sleeping the night off, and got up at like 1 or 2 the next afternoon, and walked past the mirror, and I had literally had titties, and I was just like, what the hell happened here? I
Wow.
have tits. Like, what the fuck? And I literally like started to like cry, and I'm like, fuck, like, should be having titties. And like I literally had a conversation with myself out loud, and I was like, it's time to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like, what's done is done. Like, don't let this get to like just got to put in the work. And my wife was doing dishes, and I walked past her, and she's like, John, where you going? I was like, I'm going to the gym. She's like, you don't have a gym membership? I was like, I'm about to. I've been walking to the gym ever since.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Because like at the time when you were with Impact as well, like you were covered up pretty much from head to toe when you were wrestling, like you were wearing a shirt. Do you feel like if you were wrestling in like tights or without a shirt that you would have felt more accountable to sort of like stop?
No, I
Do you
don't
think?
think so. I don't think so, just because like I was so deep into the bottle. I was so deep into like drinking, and thought that this is what wrestlers do. Because you always hear those stories, and not that you put the blame on, like I'm totally taking accountable for my actions. It wasn't on anybody else. But I mean, like you do get caught up in that lifestyle, and
Yeah.
there's nothing else to do. Like, you miss your family. Like for me, like only thing I did was wrestle, uh, go to my job, support my family, come back, spend some time with my family, go back on the road, go back work, and like that's been my whole damn career for except for like 6 years of that. So like when I had my Impact run and a little like 3 years after my Impact run, I was able to just give it a full go on the independent circuit. But like dealing with guys like Ian Rotten and these other shitty promoters during the pandemic, it just started taking away at your savings. So it's like you find yourself at having to get another shoot job, so just to support your wrestling habit. So like it's a down, this is crazy. The lifestyle and everything that you think that you have to do just to succeed to make it big in this industry. Because I mean, you do have to be around those social circles, because if you're not, like, they're not going to think about you.
Exactly.
It's like you always gotta have to poke your head. At least that's how it was with Impact. I felt like that with Impact.
And it was mainly just party reasons that you hit the bottle, so it wasn't anything else.
No, it wasn't anything else. It literally was to pass the time on the road.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally just to be like, oh, like you're there for 8 hours filming, and then it's like, what are you gonna do for the rest when you get back to the hotel? Play video games, which we did, but like it was always, video games and drinking. You get to telling stories, you end up having your groups of people, and then you socialize with the company when they have, big, company wide parties. So it's like, not that you feel obligated, because I didn't feel obligated at all. It was just, that was just something that kind of took control of my life for probably about a year and a half.
Wow.
That's when I was probably about a year and a half where I was just constantly drinking, and like with Impact keeping me under contract for 6 months, not knowing what the hell I was going to do, if I was a part of the company or not. Like, that did not help at all. And that just, like I said, that just sent me down a whole other dark path that I literally had to and been fighting to stay out of.
And I think, like, with the whole thing, with companies and wrestling, and you even touched on it with like AEW, sort of like not giving you much feedback, and sort of Impact, sort of like not knowing what's going on there. And I kind of feel like in the world of wrestling, it's like, for me, anytime I'm around it, like, to be honest, I'm always sitting there going, is this person working me? Like, that's always in the back of my mind. Like, what sort of thing is going on here? You know what I mean? Like,
well, with the AEW and Impacts, is just completely two different things. Like, I didn't necessarily go out and search for like the feedback either. Like, they're also producing a live television show at that time too. So like it's two different worlds. Like with Impact, like I'm emailing, I'm texting, I'm trying to get a hold of all the hires up to try to figure out what was going on. If they would have just gave me a little bit of a slither of like a hope, like it would have changed my whole actions, or the whole outlook on how everything that I was doing. Like I would have had something to work towards, I felt, instead of being like, what's going to happen to me here? Like, I literally went to like a crazy panic attack because of loss of job. Like they took $3,000 a month away from me without just a drop of a dime. And like, I had no idea on how I was going to support my family, all because of actions of others. Like, I didn't do shit to deserve that. But like, because of who they paired me up with and who, my brother was, like, I got the shit end of the deal on everything. Everything was taken away from me. So that's exactly the reason why I fell into that deep, depression of alcohol abuse and, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I even had a Johnny Cash moment on a show once. It was like this dude had to my manager at the time, like he woke me up at like Cincinnati, and I was like, oh shit, like did we do that? He's like, no. I was like, oh fuck. That's when I was like, yeah, I got a problem.
Yeah.
And then I went like completely cold turkey, which was like the wrong thing to do when you're like, I didn't know like you could literally die from that shit. Like I went completely cold turkey. I was having like withdrawals and everything. You ever seen the Dewey Cox
Yeah.
movie where
Yeah.
he's like, bring them more covers, take away his covers. He needs more covers. That's
Yeah.
exactly how it was. Like it was fucking a nightmare.
I'm sorry you went through it, bro. But I think like by going
great
like
come
that,
out of it.
yeah, exactly. Like that's the sort of shit that really makes people stronger and stronger human beings as well.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. Like I look at that time and it's made me to the person I am today. Like I've been going to the gym consistently for six days a week now for the last 2 years or whatever it's been since I've been sober now. Like I look at that. I look at everything that's happened. It does happen for a reason. And it just made me a better wrestler. It's made me a better human being. It's just all around just made my life better. So like I actually thank Impact and everything that happened with everything, because it wouldn't have made me who I am today.
Yeah.
So probably what I want to ask you is, because you're actually wrestling now quite consistently and on a higher level, from what you actually learned from Les Thatcher, Cody Hawk, what piece of advice did they give you that you have in the back of your head that when you're actually doing a match? So when you're actually going out there, what's the thing that comes to your mind?
I always go to the keeping my eyes and my ears open and my mouth shut. Like still to this day, even if I think like I know something, like even like I just keep my mouth shut and just listen and watch. That's the best thing you can do in this business. And that I was taught that with my first trainer, Bill Kovaleski. That was the first thing he said. And then when I went to HWA to further my education in this industry, that's the thing that Cody, Les, Matt Stryker, Nigel, Chad Collier, all those guys preached. BJ Whitmer, all those guys preached the same stuff. Like, and I, kept my eyes and my ears open and my mouth shut. It's just now recently that my mouth is getting me in trouble. This podcast actually got me in trouble.
Really? With
Last
who?
time, yeah.
What a piss
DJ Hyde.
DJ Hyde? You got
What'd you say?
really?
Yeah, he goes, "Hey man, you buried me, huh, on the podcast?" I was like, "When did I bury you on a podcast?" He's like, "I thought we were friends." I was like, "What? No, like, why would you think that? Like, what we had was just a business transaction at best, like business relationship, promoter wrestler, like." What? He's like, no, like you said that I was a joke amongst you and your close knit group of friends, and I was like, well, yeah, DJ, I thought you knew that. Like, we didn't make it a secret. You like, come on, bro. So yeah, he
I'm
called me
sorry
about
that
that.
I'm sorry that got you heat,
That's
bro.
hilarious. No, it's
Bro, I
hilarious.
like
Wow,
honestly,
Piers,
like
you're a heat magnet, Piers.
bro, I get heat all around the world, bro. But like,
All around the world. Like I saw that like Leo Rush and Swan's like one of my best friends in this business, and I'm going through like the Rolodex on my phone thinking like, okay, like it's like I'm not gonna make it any secret, like I have a shoot job again, like again with
no
the
shame in that.
way this industry is like I got so many canceled bookings throughout the pandemic, and it's still happening. Like it's insane how promoters will be like, hey, save this date for me, and then like the week of, I have to get a hold of them and be like, hey, I haven't seen any advertisements, anything going on. Oh, I forgot we had to cancel that show like a month ago. Like, why didn't you get a hold of me? Oh, I forgot. So like it just I had to stop relying on this and get something that I could rely on. But yeah, man, like I was going through the Rolodex of my phone and just going through all like the promoters that I worked for in the past. It's not screwed me over on money, and DJ Hyde was one of them. And I'm like, like see what CZW's up to. I see Leo and Swan's working there. It can't be too bad, right? And then he's like, you buried me, Jake, and I thought we were friends. And I was like,
and he mentioned this podcast specifically.
And he mentioned this podcast. Yes, he did. So you are famous around the CZW locker room, my friend.
Oh, wow. Well, but the thing was, man, I always enjoyed the product of CZW over the years. I thought they've always put on good shows in the history of it.
What happened with so how did DJ and them get canceled? Like, I didn't even know like this was a thing until like I actually had a conversation with him on the phone about it. I was like, oh shit, like I don't want no part of this anyways. The fuck was I thinking?
He got called out during speaking out, and Joey Janela turned around and made statements saying like that female wrestlers were forced to share a hotel room with him and cuddle up or some weird shit like that. There was also other female wrestlers stating that because he had WSW Women's Series, the women's company.
Yeah, my wife worked for him on that. Yeah, I remember that.
Apparently, he walked backstage when he bought. Like, this is like allegedly, he went backstage and said, "If I don't want to fuck you, I'm not going to book you," or something along those lines. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's like where I've read.
No, that's really accurate because he said that to me to my face, and we had
But did he book you afterwards, Jake?
No, he was talking. He was talking about my damn.
No, I don't think he's in the booking.
I know. Dude, he tried to touch me in many different ways. You don't even. We'll talk off air. We'll talk off air on that.
Yeah. Kayfabe, brother.
Kayfabe, brother. Kayfabe. That's fucking accurate as hell. Like those words I've heard come out of his mouth to me about like my. I was like, so what you're saying is you would fuck my wife, and he like kind of like would look different directions, or his most famous direction to look is up. Like he won't look you up in the eye. He like won't look you in the eyes. He'll just look up. It's like you got to stand on a step stool and be like, I'm up here, DJ. Look me in the eyes.
But do you think he said that in a way it's meaning like?
No, he didn't.
Did you think he meant like? What I'm saying is like, do you think he didn't actually mean it literally? Like, I can sort of see it. Yeah, I've had DJ on the podcast, and I can kind of see how he interacts. Maybe he could be like, I'm not saying he didn't say it, but I'm saying like he said it, but his meaning behind it would be like, if I don't think you're attractive, meaning the audience.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I took it. Like, but I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I did carry that shit in a couple matches that we had. So like, like that's just the kind of receipts that you get. Like anyone in this industry that's made it anywhere and they haven't roughed up somebody in the ring is just and they don't admit it is just a liar. Like, I mean, it's just a part of this industry, especially starting out and like trying to learn like the ins and out of this industry. And like when a promoter, says stuff like that and, to your face, and like your wife happens to work for him, I mean, you're gonna give him a little stiff shot here or two. Nothing like to fucking fuck him up to where he can't walk or something, but something to where maybe he, doesn't say stuff like that ever again. But I guess it ended up getting him in trouble again, didn't it?
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
100%. But like in the same sense, like it's funny that you said that because I actually watched a clip earlier of Crash Holly talking, and it was like seeing this clip, like, mate, I loved Crash, but like in this clip, he nailed it on the head. He was talking about the Matt Capitelli thing with Bob Holly, and he just was like shooting. He goes, "This is the professional wrestling business." He goes, "Bob Holly hit me 10 times harder than he hit Matt straight out." And he goes, "And you know what? The first time I wrestled him, he beat the shit out of me. He busted my mouth open. I was black and bruised. I walked backstage. I looked him in the eye, said, 'Thank you very much, sir. That was a pleasure.'" He goes, "Because you don't whinge and bitch in this business." And I was just like, fuck. If this could only be seen by so many people.
That's the way it is. But I mean, wrestling has changed for the better. I feel like for the better. You know, like when I first started out to now is completely different. Like I was literally a junior in high school coming out, and I was on my first few matches, and then I was a senior when I came out to HWA, and that was just a complete, like, looking back at it, I was a boy in a man's world, and I probably ruined so many people's opportunities and chances because they were developmental for WWE or WWF. And I believe I think they had like a WCW thing there, like towards like the very, very tail end, like when I was coming in. But like they were most famous for having that WWF developmental, and like right up the road was OVW. So like Les and Jim Cornette would share talent and stuff. I think the same building actually. But then that's when I came in a senior, and they legit, like, I ruined so many people's opportunities on just, the spots that I blown. It's like, think about like WWF or WWE officials were actually looking at these guys like developmental territories. So it just I
What do you mean?
I
What do you
feel
mean by
bad.
ruin? What do you mean by
Well,
ruin?
well, think
It was
about it. Like I've fucked up so many spots.
really.
Yeah, when I first started, especially being a senior, coming, like, I was literally a boy in a man's world, and like these are all guys all jacked up. I mean, like they had muscles on top of muscles. It's like Les didn't train no fools. Like you had to be in shape, you had to be tough. Like you had to be tough enough
Yeah.
to withstand, the harsh criticisms of Les Thatcher. The
Yeah.
first thing Les said to me was, "The best thing that ever could have happened to this business is your mother should have swallowed you."
I think you said that on the last podcast.
Wow.
Can you imagine somebody saying that to somebody
Yeah.
now when they're first starting out? And then
That's
like he would always
It's
talk
really,
about he would always talk about building a match, like how you build, your
yeah,
climax in the bedroom.
just like sex, exactly.
It's just
And
like sex. I mean, you can't say or do stuff like that nowadays. Like, it's the wrestling. That's where I say the business has changed for the better.
yeah,
Like that's exactly, like, get all these crazy, you know, all that crap out of it. Like I'm glad it happened. Like I'm glad the business was cleaned up, because like it ended up having to police itself, and I think once stuff gets so tainted and tarnished and toxic, it kind of does that within itself. It's like it's in its own nature to cleanse itself. I think that's what the business did.
But I think as well, like with the wrestling business as well, how it changed from like overly sexualizing women. And it's like you look at the matches that went through during like the time period of like the late 90s, where it's like bra and panties matches. And I've said like a million times, like even as a kid, like watching that as a red-blooded teenage male, seeing that, like, it never sat right with me, because the way that I looked at it was like, so the whole premise of this match is to strip someone naked against their, or down to their underwear against their will. Bro, that kind of sounds like some fucking sex offender type shit to me.
Even when I was in high school, I didn't even really watch the stuff. I remember flipping back from like WWF to WCW. I was a WCW kid. So like I don't ever remember seeing stuff like that in WCW. You know, like I
No.
only remember seeing
back
stuff
end.
like that. Like maybe in the back end. But
Major
like
Guns,
at
Cable.
that time, like who was
No, when
watching WCW?
I don't even think the workers were watching the show.
I don't think the workers at that time were watching WCW, but yeah, I was always that kid that always, you know, flipped back and forth because I was a huge Insane Clown Posse fan, and they would always flip back and forth between WCW and WWF. So I believe they were doing like Vampiro stuff, and then they switched to WWF and was like the oddities.
I
And
remember
like
that.
I would always kind of follow them. I always thought like I don't know. I guess I was one of those kids that always kind of thought that WWF was the cartoonish, you know, wrestling, and like the NWA was the real stuff
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
because
know
of
that's
the
what?
true.
blood and the violence.
But you know what? Like
Exactly.
I watched an NWA show, one of their recent shows, just the other day, and I hadn't watched NWA in the longest time. And I just was like sitting there watching and going, how this show is booked is not like anything else which is going on. Like this is completely different. And I think the
Like
pandemic
like
really affected.
current
Yeah,
NWA. Oh, I
yeah,
haven't seen current NWA. Like I know a few of the guys that work there, but I have to check it out.
very old school in the way how it's put
Well,
together. Like it's really cool.
that's sweet. Like the interviews and go straight to the ring.
No, like it's not like the old way how they were doing it before the pandemic. It's more of like almost like the blacked out fans, the light on the ring. You know what I mean? Like just that old
Oh, the old
smokiness of the
like
feel.
that is cool. That is
Yeah,
I enjoy a feel like that's what when I ran Rockstar, that's the feel that I try to create. Like we would have a dark room with just the one single light, you know, the smoke filled arena. Like that's what I think wrestling. I love wrestling like that.
oh yeah, like I'm the same way, but definitely like yeah, go have a look at their product because I think it's pretty unique what they're doing because it's
I
just so
totally
different.
will.
Yeah, no, 100%. But you mentioned Ian Rotten earlier, man, and you know we spoke about Ian Rotten last time and the IWA mid sash that you created. You know, following that, like, has there been any contact from Ian since then? You know, what's the situation with you and them? Is there any?
I haven't spoke to Ian since I blocked him on all forms of being able to communicate with me. Like the power of the block button is amazing. Like
It's great.
I've learned to use it very frequently now. So I love it. I love it. But I don't even remember how long ago that was. I
Well, Jake's having a bit of technical difficulty there, Rob. But man, I had no idea that I had heat in a New Jersey locker room. So,
Oh well, what can you do? You know, you're a heat magnet these days. What can I say? So
bro, I ask questions and people answer. Like it's what's there. But we got Jake
yeah.
back.
So I
You just
think
need to.
I think with Jake as himself, I think you know his intention when he did burn the belt wasn't to actually ever get booked again. So I'm sure you definitely considered that. So it was
Oh,
just one of
100%.
those where it was just going to happen. I
You
think
just
you're
need to
on mute.
unmute yourself, Jake.
Mute.
Try again. Unmute.
Mute.
Okay.
Oh,
There
Sorry about that. I got a call and it fucked up everything.
you
you
oh man.
But
But
yeah, I haven't heard from him, you know, since that day. I literally gave him that ultimatum. I was like, hey man, like you have till 5 o'clock to pay me the $600 that you owe me, or I'm going to uh burn your belts.
That's great. I love rattle.
Actually,
That's great.
I didn't say burn his belt. I didn't give him. I said, watch the internet for the promo I'll cut on you.
That's
That's
awesome.
what I said.
It's great to rattle the cages like that, especially when somebody doesn't want to pay you. You know what I mean? You put your body on the line for somebody, and they don't even have the hide to pay you. Like that's just to me.
The crazy part about that whole situation is I Ian was supposed to pay me that day, and I was going to fly to Orlando to wrestle for Circle Six. And Circle Six also has like a clothing, like they print clothes, t-shirts, all that kind of shit, clothing lines. So I had the bright idea that same weekend to be like, hey, why don't you just take my payday and put it to a batch of shirts, and I'll get a batch of shirts, and I'm like, oh sweet, yeah, we'll get those done to you in like a month and a half. So like I was out like $1,200 that weekend alone, just because he didn't pay. Like I put that money towards a shirt. So
Oh, fucking Ian Rotten, the carny fuck.
like he actually tried to come back, and
I saw, yeah.
I saw everyone that was on, and I literally got a hold of everyone that I seen that was on the flyer, and was like, don't do this. Let's not give this guy, a platform to do this to anyone else again. And that was the thing, is like I didn't want the next generation to have to go through what we had to go through, because think about if like the who's who in this wrestling industry has gone through Mid-South. Like Chris Hero, AJ Styles, like Christopher Daniel, everybody has been through Mid-South. Like, and maybe some of those guys has just been, picked up through here and there, like a couple bookings, TPIs or whatever. But some of those big names wrestled for him for like a long period of time. So it's like, think about if they would have stuck up for not only themselves, but for, my generation, I wouldn't have had to deal with that. I looked at it. So I'm gonna nip this out the butt. I'm gonna be the last person that Ian screws over, and that was my whole point in it, and that's why I got a hold of every single person that I seen on that flyer and was like, don't do this. He still owes me money. He still owes hundreds of fans money. Like, please, like, I know he's Arnie thing going on that was like, well, I can't work because he's legally blind, and like he has to run shows to be able to pay people back. No, like you're not ever gonna run a show again if I have anything to do with it. It's like I'll call athletic commissions, I'll call the building, like I'll call the wrestlers. Like he's
enabling him. He's enabling him to actually keep on going. You know what I mean? To make out as if nothing's happening, let's continue on. So, that's what you call a dodgy promoter.
Right.
But I feel like Ian's done it a lot over the years, though. Like I feel people have called him out over the last 10 years. He just keeps coming back.
I just feel if the wrestlers would have nipped this at the butt 15 years ago, because like here was my thing. Like I always heard when I first started in, like, oh, you haven't made a name in this industry if Ian doesn't owe you $100. Like I heard that so many times coming up. If Ian Rotten does not owe you money, you're not somebody in this business.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually heard a story that JC Bailey, like a young wrestler who unfortunately passed really young. He apparently and allegedly was at JC Bailey's funeral, caused a scene, and then demanded JC Bailey's parents give him money so he could put fuel in his car to drive home.
Want transportation money. Give me gas money. Yeah, like I heard that same thing.
Who does that? Who does that?
Ian Rotten does, I guess. Like
that's mental.
That's mental. But
for a promoter, Like,
It's
or anybody, who the fuck does that? Whether you're a promoter, whether you're a fireman, who the fuck does that shit? Like, that's just
At a
fucking.
few.
Yeah, that's fucked.
I mean,
That's really bad.
and Ian's not the only promoter that does this, or
No,
there's still a bunch of them out there. Like,
we've got him here too. Don't worry, we got him here too. Yeah, many places got him. We've got plenty of Ian Rottens around. We should make it the Ian Rotten Award. It goes to the next promoter that does the most fucked up shit.
I had one promoter hit me up and say, "Hey, I want to book you to do commentary or whatever on my show." I'm like, "Yeah, cool, man." Blah blah blah. He lays it all out, and I go, "Cool, man. This is my fee." And he goes, "What?" I go, "That's my fee." He goes, "I don't pay commentators." I go, "Okay, cool. Well, good luck on your next show, bro." And he's like, "But you can be on my show." And I said, "Not if you're not paying me, bro." I said, I'm not leaving my house to go and work for you for free. Like, that's not how this works.
It's crazy. Like, I'm like I said, I'm glad the business has changed in the regards of the shitty promoters and like and all that kind of shit. Like, I'm glad, like I said, I mean, beating up people like that doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. So I'm really happy about that. It's like I started thinking about just the way I was trained just a few months ago. And I was trained completely different than originally starting out. I was trained completely different than I feel that anybody else has in the history of professional wrestling. Is like I was trained to succeed. Like, because the agreement was with the original trainer um, we had a backyard, like me and a bunch of my friends, group of us kids, we had a ring in a barn that we built out of in welding class. So if we went to an independent show, we begged the promoter to take his ring down, and we ended up like doing blueprints on how a ring was built. So we took those and we all of us put our money together, and we got enough metal and materials to build our own 14 by 14 professional wrestling style ring. And we put this in this guy named Dustin Ray's barn. And the news, actually, the top news channel in Dayton came and was doing a backyard wrestling special. They came and did a whole piece on us in the barn. And the commentator that we had at the time, his mom went to church with this guy named Bill, and they were like most people after the service. They get together and they talk about what was on the news, or how Jimmy's doing this week, and how Sally's doing. So like they're talking about this group of kids in New Carlisle, and how he was pretty impressed with them. And Derek's mom goes, "I know those kids. My son's best friends with them." Like, and they got us in contact, and he straight up was like, "I'll train you guys for free if you wrestle for free for 2 years to pay for your training." So like there was like 20 of the kids, so we all signed up.
Yeah.
So like we just started training. So that's why like we were trained to succeed versus to fail, to beat your ass, to get you out, to see if you're tough enough to be in this business, blah blah blah. Like I was trained completely, you know what I mean? So I actually look back at all that, and like I think my original trainer Bill Kovaleski, like he was amazing to us. Like taught us for 2.5 years. He would come to that barn and just work out with us like 2 to 3 days a week for free, just in hopes of starting his own promotion. And he never did. He never started his own promotion. Like I worked for him like for years, like whenever he would have like a couple booking opportunities, but like he never got anything off the ground.
No, so with your training, it was great to filter out. You're in the filter out process. You know what I mean? But now the way they actually do their training sessions is like it's like a gym membership. It's like they still keep you there, even though you're not ready for the business or you're not born for it. Where in growing up, especially during your time, they did a filter out process where it's like if you weren't that good, you're going to go, and if you didn't have the heart to do it, you were going to go.
Yeah, I remember that at HWA. Like, and that's like the big culture shock, going from, creating our own backyard thing in our own barn, with like literally building it with your own hands, to going to Cincinnati like 2 years later to be told, the things that I was told. And like, it was a huge culture shock. Like, big thing is like, that was the thing when we started. It's like, you have to be mentally and physically tough enough for this business. Like, I don't like, who knows what the psychology behind the true psychology is behind the wrestling trainers that have that attitude towards the business. But I'm very, very thankful that my original trainer, he trained me to succeed, not to fail. And I feel like that is just, I feel like nobody has ever been trained like that. You normally just pay money to, get beat up. At least that's how it was back then. I don't know how it is now. I haven't been to a training session in 20 years.
Yeah, now it's like this. Now it's like, come on in, pay your money, come on in. They just they keep going. It's a gym membership. I'm telling you, that's all it is. Because you need to have it for a school to survive. What we do know is that you have to build it. You know what I mean? You have to have a certain amount of people come in. Where back then it was just about filtering the actual guy out and keeping the ones that were going to make it, or that you think were going to make it. You know what I mean? That are tough enough to make it. So now they just keep on slowly breaking them in, and that's where you see sometimes there's a problem where there's a lot of guys that have been broken into the business, and then we scratch our heads going, how the fuck is this guy in the business? How the fuck are they even doing shows? But they're there, they're doing shows.
It was a huge shock to the system when I got the email from Impact, like, oh, we're not gonna use you any longer, or it didn't even say. It took me off of my monthly salary and put me on a per appearance deal with no appearances scheduled. So like, I scrambled to get any and all independent bookings, and like, going from Impact that 3-4 years or whatever it was to come back on the indies was just like, these guys don't even know how to lock up properly.
Yeah,
I'm getting hurt on like them stepping on my toes on the lockup. How do you step on my foot on a lockup? You know how hard that is? You know how hard it is to step on someone's foot on a fucking lockup?
It's almost like you'd have to intentionally fucking want to step on someone's foot to do it.
It's like, what the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah.
In your ear, whatever. Yeah. Stepping on a fucking foot? Come on.
Exactly. Here you go, wrestling all these elite guys, and all of a sudden, the next week or the next day, you're wrestling someone that's never done anything before. It's like, oh, fuck. And then you start to realize that this is what indie wrestling is all about.
But you would have to question the promoter, though, going, okay, we're bringing in a guy who for the past 3-4 years has been on weekly television with Impact and, been wrestling since he was a teenager. Okay, we want to impress this guy, so he comes back and wants to do our shows again. Let's put our best talent forward. That would be the mentality. Right? Put on a good match.
Best talent, though. That's the thing. For them, that's their best talent. You know what I mean? We're just prostitutes. We go out, we go to the monies. You know what I mean? That's just the way they do things. They go, oh, you know what? There's Jake Crist here, and we're going to put our best worker, and the best worker can fucking lock up. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. So to them, to the promoter's eyes, that's their best worker. And unfortunately, it's that filtering out process where he grew up and I grew up with a filtering out process where if you're not passionate, you leave. But now they just keep them in. They keep them rolling.
And it's and then those people get bigger names or whatever, may get bigger opportunities, and then they teach the wrong ways, and it's just
Yeah,
a vicious cycle of like I don't know. I mean, who knows what the right or wrong way of doing things is. It's like I got my ass beat constantly, like especially when I went to HWA. Like I said, it was a huge shock to the system. But like I was also in high school.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, like,
Well,
Do you
I
know
don't know
how?
about. I don't know. Oh, sorry, you go, Piers.
with
I was just going to ask, is
coming
you
back
mentioned
though, hold on real quick. Like we're coming back to the whole thing, like with the whole pandemic thing too. Like dear, like with the people stepping on my foot. Like I was taking anything and everything to try because like I couldn't get a job at McDonald's. Like you literally like nobody was hiring at all. So it was like I was taking anything and everything. And it was like you said, oh, we're gonna bring in this talent that's been on, TV for X amount, but we're gonna put them against, the best star that we got, and the best star that we got can't even lock up. That's what I was talking about, being such a huge culture shock to the system, being like, damn, I gotta like relearn like this industry again. This is
Yeah,
like it was insane. It's
yeah,
insane. It was like the Ian Rottens, I went to like he was the first promotion that I worked for when I got that email. And it was literally I'm had huge high production, walking down rampways, got the cameraman down, looking with the red light, everything's looking great. The ring's immaculate. You ain't got to worry about it. I look down to Ian's show in Indianapolis. He doesn't have skirts on his aprons of his ring. He doesn't have a bottom fucking rope. He doesn't have a bottom rope. All because Harbo forgot one of the little turning, like the hook onto the pole. Like you forget one of those little twisty things. So now we don't have a bottom rope. I was literally like, no wonder I'm an alcoholic. No wonder. No wonder.
Oh man, that's nuts. Like, but I think as well, like it's almost like you go from that to that, and it's like the culture shock into it as well. Like you just like, fuck, how did I
It
get
goes,
here?
oh wow, there's no production. Like hardly anybody can work. This fucking sucks. Why am I still doing this?
exactly,
So
exactly. Did you
with
find it makes it actually easier for you to work these days than it did back then? Because they got a lot of guys that don't know how to. It just makes like it's not as challenging as it was before. I mean, you got your great guys, at a high level, but then, like I said, when you're going against guys that are really bad, at our age, I don't know. I just find it just quite easy. I'm like going, oh my god, how am I better than this guy? Like, do you have that mentality when you actually work something like that?
No, no. I just tried to. So I adopted the this philosophy after Eddie Guerrero passed away. Eddie Guerrero was my favorite professional wrestler of all time. Like literally, well, him and Macho Man. But like as when Eddie passed away, um, like most of his fans, I went back and I watched his last match. Like his last, match was with Mr. Kennedy on SmackDown. And I remember watching it, being like, man, there was something kind of. It seemed like there was something off on him, like he didn't have that like spunk, that fire. Like he did. It didn't seem
yeah,
like an
Team
Eddie
Heat.
Guerrero match. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't seem like that. So like I thought of that and was like, okay, if there's just one fan in the world of Jake Crist, and if I like, you never know what's gonna happen. Like I can pass away going to work today. Like so, I wanted, if there was one fan out there in the world of mine to go back and watch, my last match, I want it to be good. I want it to be bad. I want it to be an awesome match. So like I've adopted that mentality years and years ago of like I'm going to leave it all in the ring no matter what, like who my opponent is, what show it is, like this has to be like my best match just, you know, for me, you know, cuz what if this is not trying to get, you know, dark and twisted, but like
No,
that's life. That is life. That is like yeah, we're all like we we get to do this awesome thing called professional wrestling. You know, I get to live my dream. But like, what if, you know, I pass away 10 minutes from now? I want that fan to go back and look like, wow, Jake Crist, that match was amazing. I don't want them to have that feeling of like that I had where it was like, man, like I bet you if he knew that was going to be his last one, it would have been done much differently.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the mentality that I have
I mean, like
in every
even
single match.
like I think you see recently, you know, with Jay Briscoe who recently passed away, and you know his last match, you know, was incredible. You know what I mean? Like incredible.
Incredible. The dog
Right?
collar, right?
Yeah, like I don't watch AEW the product, you know, to be honest, but like I went and watched that match, and it's like, you know, it's like always when
FTR Briscoe's dog collar match was amazing.
yeah,
Like
I agree.
like that to me, you know, like that would be, you know, a type of awesome match that, you know, you could be happy to go out on. Like not that you'd be happy to go out, but I don't want my words to be twisted or,
No,
you know, but like that's just my mentality and the way I've always looked at my work, my body of work. You know, because like I don't want if there is one fan out there, you get what I'm saying. I just don't want them to have that feeling of like, man, that wasn't a Jake Crist match. Like there's something off. Like, maybe was he drunk? You know, like
yeah.
whatever it may have been. You get what I'm saying. So it's
Uh,
just like
uh,
I'm very, very conscious on that. I feel, especially the after the passing of Eddie.
Yeah. It's a great mentality to have. That's definitely something that we all should look forward to when
Like
we're actually wrestling ourselves. So it's
I've
actually
also like even bit after that, you know, after adopted that mentality, like there's been shows, there's been, you know, TVs, you know, that you're at, and I was like, oh, you know, you could give it just, you don't have to give it your all, you know what I mean? Like
phone
every
it in.
performer, every wrestler has gone through that at some point in their career. So I was like, I always keep that in the back of my head, like, what if? So it always kind of gives me that little pep in my step, pep in my step.
Over the years, did you wrestle much against the Briscoes?
I had, I think it's like 3 or 4 matches with the Briscoes over the years. My favorite one um that I had was in St. Paul for Ring of Honor, like just starting out with the company. It was awesome. I
was
remember
that
that
the
there was
Irish Airborne? Is that who it was? Was it the Irish Airborne days? Yeah, yeah.
days versus the Briscoes. And I remember there was like big plans of doing, you know, a brothers versus brother thing, but it just never ended up getting off the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, like I think like that sort of like style because it's like two brothers going against each. You know what I mean? Like I think you can sort of see it's almost like families, you know, having this family feud almost. Essentially, you could build it that way.
Absolutely, and back then, I mean, that was like the Hardy Boys was the big thing. So it was like if you were legit brothers, like being in the industry, promoters wanted to throw you together. Like it just, because my whole career, I I did not want to be a tag wrestler. I didn't want to wrestle with my brother. I didn't want to do any of that. Like in the 6 years of Rockstar, if like I booked 6 years week to week and a date and promotion. Like if you look through that whole catalog, is this online somewhere? Um, I booked myself in a singles run that whole 6 years.
Yeah,
Like
it was just
I've always, it's just, I don't know. Just
I mean,
I think this is like every time I try to get out, a promoter or a promotion would put us back together.
because I think as well, like everyone who breaks into the business, starts off as a fan, and everyone wants to be, not literally, but Hulk Hogan. They don't want to be, the Heart Foundation, for example. You know what I mean? Like that's you think that's
Absolutely. Like for me, my two favorite wrestlers starting out was Macho Man and The Ultimate Warrior. Those were my two favorite because like my dad would rent me the home Coliseum videos. And Hulk Hogan, I remember being on, like, he was always last on the tapes. Like I that's what I remembered as a kid. So I saw, uh, Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man before, Hogan. I mean, you saw the promos and stuff, but like looking back at it, like those are the two dudes that I remember seeing, and that's who I enjoyed the most. Like those two cats were amazing. The colorful characters, the macho man voice. Oh yeah, yeah, dig it.
Slim Jims, brother. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Jack. Yeah, but that's what I enjoyed. That's what made me fall in love with the business.
And that's the
so
great thing about the business. Is like there's so many different things. Like people have different moments that really sort of draw them into the business, and like I think that's really cool.
Well, I mean, like, you don't come, like, going back to what we were talking. Like, you don't come in the business saying, "Hey, I want to be tag team champion."
no, no.
Even with your brother, I didn't think that. Like, no, I wanted to,
Do it on
want
your own.
this on my own.
Yeah. Well, out of the two, I did notice that you were more of a singles wrestler yourself. Like even when we were at HWA, you know what I mean. You seem like you're more focused on that, even though you did tag a lot. But when you did singles, you just I don't know, for some reason.
Becoming the best wrestler that I could. Like, I would show up a couple hours before the show and just chain around with Cody and Matt Striker, like
Yeah,
Unibody
exactly.
Striker.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, and Nigel and stuff. So
Nigel, like, Nigel, like, practiced the Les Carrot lariat on me, the Tower of London. Like, I was like the first one to like take all those moves, like, because I was a young, eager kid that would bump and do anything that I was told, especially if I thought they were top notch level, like those guys, all those guys, Nigel. Collier. I remember teaching Chad Collier how to moonsault in his Metal Master gimmick without like his mask on, because he wanted to fill because he had heavy boots as Metal Master. So like we got the crash pad out and literally taught him how to do a moonsault, because he taught me how to wrestle, like to chain wrestle, like the way and the smoothness of Chad Collier. Like, I was so happy when he asked me, "Hey Jake, can you teach me how to do, some of those flippy doodads that you do?" But yeah, what do you want to learn? He's like, "Oh, I want to learn the moonsault." So I taught him a second rope moonsault. It was awesome.
yeah,
Um,
Chad was fantastic. He was so smooth in the ring, and he actually he was under Chad Malenko when he went to Japan. So he's trained by Dean Malenko. They're pretty much almost a replica, the way they move. So I was actually going to say to you,
Almost too smooth.
exactly. Yeah, you need to do some imperfections, to actually make wrestling look even better. So
Right.
kind of like what Bob Orton used to do. You look too good, just do something that's not too perfect.
mm.
Yeah,
A little greedy.
exactly.
You mentioned with HWA for a time being like a developmental for WWEF, as well as OVW, and Jim Cornette being around. Did you ever have any interactions with Jim Cornette back then?
Uh, not that I can remember. I remember being on like a few shows, like here and there, but like I was such a a young kid. Like I remember meeting him like in the Ring of Honor days more than what I did in the HWA. But like maybe through passing, shake his hand or something like that. Be respectful because that's the biggest thing you're taught in this. Well, one of the biggest things you should be taught in this industry is to have respect for the people that's done this before you. And with Les and Jim Cornette's relationship, like everyone knew, like if Corny was around, to be respectful.
What was he like when you were in Ring of Honor? Like, did you have much to do with him there, or was it just sort of like brief? Hey, what am I doing? Here's your spot.
Like I think he was like mostly with like the top talent guys, like, and who he was with, and like when his time like there, I think I was like kind of in and out because I was mostly in Ring of Honor with Gabe. Like when Gabe was running Ring of Honor, like I was there. That's when I was there for the long haul, the stint. I would get brought back here and there when Adam Piers took over the book after Gabe, and then after that it was Delirious, and I think I think I only did like a shot or two for them during that time. And actually, right before Impact, I did a show for Ring of Honor, and I wrestled Jonathan Gresham on that show.
Yeah,
It was
right.
like it was a what
That
kind of
guy's that guy's like a little pitbull.
yeah, it was trying to think of it was like a gauntlet type thing with Jonathan Gresham, and I was like one of the people in it. It was cool but weird.
Mm.
So 38 years old, still doing a top rope cutter, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't done a cutter standing and or top rope in probably over a year because there once those moves get overdone and you see them constantly, I just want to be a little different. You know what I mean? Like, so I actually made it a point to just stop doing cutters, and that's also to do with Ricky Shane Page as well, as when he doesn't book for Circle Six anymore, but when he did, he would like much like I had with Rockstar, there was a do not do list, like move spots, word, like I had to put like words that you couldn't say on the mic, like on some shit, like there's
Really?
I gave this kid named Duke Beefhammer a shot on the mic once, and he just started dropping F bomb after F bomb, and like I literally was like, no F bombs on the mic. So like literally, I had that list, and so did Ricky. And I feel when companies have lists and spots that you can't do and that are protected, it just makes you a better wrestler. It makes you think outside the box. It makes you think of, okay, it's like, think of it as a booker or promoter too. Like, do you want your whole show to look the same? Do you want everybody to hit cutters and super kicks and forearm exchanges and like all that? Or do you want a variety? Like, I want a variety. I want death matches. I want intergender matches. I want female matches. I want male matches. I want vendettas and personal issues. Like for this match, like not every match, but like I want a variety.
Yeah.
I heard EC3, like his promotion, the Control Your Narrative, like he does the same thing where it's like he banned like the torpe suicida, like the dive through the middle ropes. He's like, because everyone fucking does it. I think he actually like said a cutter as well was one of the moves, is
Yeah,
like,
dude. Like
and super kicks.
super kicks, cutters, like there's other kicks you can do. Like, and I'm guilty. Like, I love doing super kicks. Like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart are my two favorite wrestlers. They switch one and two all the time. I know I'm in my like I'm crazy that I like both, but like so I always love doing the super kicks. always just because, you know, Shawn Michaels, even back I probably hit you with a super kick. You know,
But
I was throwing them like 4 or 5 times a match, you know, back then. But like, you know, I like having limitations on me because it does make me think outside the box and it makes me a better performer. It's like I don't want to be I want to be different. I don't want to be like everybody else. You know, I want to be tan, in shape, and wrestle the way that I wrestle. You know, it's like I feel like that's all the tools right there. It's like, as you know how hard it is to get a tan? It's hard. Like a legit tan, it is fucking difficult. So
yeah,
anytime that I see somebody with a legit tan, I give them props. Like, bro, it's hard and or abs. Like to have abs, like you have to punish yourself. Like people don't realize that. Like you have to punish yourself, like diet and exercise. Having abs, like I do 6 minute abs, 7 minute abs, whatever it is. There's like an app that I do every
yeah,
day that I do abs, and that shit hurts afterwards. Like it physically hurts. So it's
yeah.
like anyone,
There's no muscle memory for it.
right? Like shit, it hurts. It's difficult.
Oh man, it's crazy because it's like I feel like like and I think Paddy the Batty from UFC said it. He's like, I've never seen anyone with a six pack that's fucking happy. He goes, I'd rather be fat and happy than fucking shredded and fucking miserable.
It's fucking miserable. Like to
Oh
get
man.
like I'm trying to get down to like 18% body fat, and it's fucking so hard. I'm down to 20.2% right now. And
Wow.
it's just like I don't know why 18. Like it's just the magical number in my head, like, oh, 18% body fat. But like maybe we get rid of these love handles. Like it's just one of those situations. That shit is hard. Like, and uh, every little thing sets you off because you're hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that I remember like that is the one thing like whenever I was like dieting super hard, training super hard, and then it was like now like my wife will go, I'll go to the gym, I'll come home, and then she'll go, really, you're gonna eat like the kids' leftover pizza? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, but you just went to the gym. I was like, yeah, that's why I go to the gym at 40 years of age, is so I can
Like,
eat this shit and not feel guilty and not have to worry about it.
yeah,
You just
man.
wasted your workout. You just
Yeah, yeah.
wasted your workout, Piers.
No, well, I'm just maintaining at this point. I just don't want to,
Maintain. Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to get any bigger, bro.
Rick Rude is maintaining his physique.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. But we are like conscious of the time here. We've just gone like an hour and 17 minutes, and we're only supposed to have Jake for like 30 to 40. So,
Right.
man, like I appreciate you coming on, Jake. Just wrapping up, man. What have you got coming up, and where can everyone follow you on social media and buy some merch from you?
Just check me out. Hit me up on my socials. It's all the same. At DJ Crist on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook. Just Jake Crist. Just look at that stuff and see where I'm coming at. I'm kind of slowing down a little bit on the bookings this year because of the day shoot job. But other than that, I'm hoping. I'm actually hoping to just be wrestling in the next few months. I'm predicting it now.
It's awesome. That's really awesome. Show
Yes,
me the crazy toe tattoo.
I ain't
Show me
gonna
the
be
toe tattoo.
this working bullshit no more in the next few months, boys. It'll just be strictly wrestling. You heard it here first.
Well, that's it, man.
Just
Hopefully we see
follow
you.
me on my socials, and you'll see what's about to happen.
Well, make sure to go follow Jay Crist, everybody. Make sure to go and follow Robbie Zucco and myself as well. But Jake, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. And again, I really appreciate these conversations. The last one was great. This one was just as good, man. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
All
Thank
good,
you.
man. We'll catch you guys soon. Take care. All the best. Peace.
Sobriety.